Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast. Me and Allan have no topics, and Josh has all the topics.
I have a topic, but you're dreading the fact that I have to talk
know.
about it.
Just know.
Don't worry, babe. Don't worry, babe.
I don't want the tip inside me, Allan. I don't want the tip inside me, Allan.
No. It'll be fast, rough, and I suggest you bite the pillow.
Oh, fuck.
Is that an open window? Let me jump out of it for a second.
Can we do that?
All right. Do you want me to do my topic real quick first? Or do you want to let Josh pramble on about magic from last night?
Yeah.
My topic first, then?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna be talking about the incident that happened last Friday that we didn't I didn't even pick up on until halfway through Saturday last weekend. And when I found it out, I was like, this is interesting. I'm going to wait till all the evidence comes out. And this is the Bramble High students who were there in D.C. for a anti-abortion protest. And the thing that happened after the protest, because this happened well after their protest, and the reaction of Twitter and the journalists. I have to give the strongest commendations to these kids. The strongest, because holy shit. If you've seen the videos of what happened before, Philip, what's his name? The native guy who walked up into the crowd and started the whole narrative of them being racist and smirking and surrounding and harassing a native person, which is an entirely false narrative. But what happened is beforehand, there was a group of black Israelites. And by the way, these guys are known as a known hate group in the United States. They have been recorded as saying Hitler did the right thing in wiping out the Jews and perfectly meaning it. Not like in ironic things of like Hitler did nothing wrong. No, they praise Hitler and stuff like that. They are really bad. And they showed up. They started harassing these kids. They called them a bunch of incest babies, a bunch of future school shooters and stuff like that. Media didn't cover that. Nathan Phillips, I think that's his name. Phillips, whatever, the native guy, walked up with some of his buddies, beating his drum, and they were trying to what the kids thought were trying to defuse the situation, because right prior to that they had started to rile themselves up with school chants and rally cries and stuff like that they do at their school events to keep themselves from getting downtrodden or being letting the effects of these black Israelites, racist black Israelites, from effectively affecting them. So this happens. There's a bunch of videos, and of course there's the one kid who we all see who's smirking at the native man. And so the media decided to run with this. They turned it into a hit piece against these kids, and then Twitter happened. And Twitter, what happened with Twitter is a bunch of checkmarked left-leaning fuck nuggets decided to call for the doxing of these kids, the actual murder and death of these kids and their families. Some said that the school shooting of the school, somebody said that to shoot up that school would be an okay thing. They called them racist, they called them sexist and stuff like that, and they put up the false narrative, build that wall into those kids, which, by the way, the black Israelites were the ones who put it up. But it's funny because if you actually start watching all the videos that they have been put up by from a bunch of different views, not only do you see that the black Israelites were racist, not just to these white kids and to a black student that was with them, but also to the natives, and they mocked him for it. But also one of the natives' buddies who walked up with him to help him defuse the situation looked at some kid and said, you've only been here for 2 or 3 generations. Why don't you fucking go back to Europe? Because we've been here for millions of years, and it's just like, okay, right. So we now have we had an escalation of the situation, but then all this information got revealed, and some people decided to double down by like going back to the school's history and trying to find like, oh, these kids are all dressed in black paint, or all painted up in black paint to look like blackface and stuff like that, which is just fundamentally not true. Because there's a thing called a rally, a blackout rally, as well as things like blue out rallies, hunting rallies, and stuff like that, where you dress up in a specific color or put body paint on of the equivalent color to be like to cheer school spirit on. So that got debunked. Some people said that have tried to. There have been some people who have like walked back, being like, no, I jumped the gun. I should have waited. And everybody's like, no, that's fair. That's an applaud. But something happened which makes my life ever so happy. Is a bunch of law firms took a single step forward and said, all right, so how many of you guys want to be charged with libel? And so there might actually be like a case for liability against these, against anybody who performed defamation or made politically damaging statements towards these kids. And on top of that, we do know for a fact that like these kids did nothing wrong.
No, they did nothing wrong. The person who did something wrong is the black Israelites, and
technically the native did something wrong because he spun the false narrative, and he might be up for liable as well.
Oh yeah, well,
but that's the thing is like this. The reason why I want to talk about it, like I want to like put my the strongest words. I would put forward like these kids have been raised white, right? There's even a scene in one of the videos where like the guy, the smirk kid, who's being he looks at the guy who's talking to the native, who's like, you should go back to Europe because you guys don't belong here and stuff like that. The kid looks visibly angry to the point where he's going to start something, and the smirk kid puts his hand out and says it's not worth it. And like you can see like with just the motion of his face, it's not worth it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Just leave it be. And like they were arms and legs above what like anything else that I could have imagined. And in my opinion, these kids have not only been raised right, the school should be commemorated for teaching their students to like, even though like they're there for an anti-abortion protest or whatever, I don't mind. It's they're allowed to have their political opinions.
Yeah.
And you know what? But the thing is, you notice that they didn't have any like incidents at the protest, didn't have any problems with the protest that they had done. But like these kids, like they're like 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. And people are calling for these kids' deaths. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with society?
Oh, you want to know something really depressing and it's sad? I'm not trying to be mean when I sit here and say this. It really shows you how pathetic the internet is. Because it's not like a normal person's going to sit there and tell a 16-year-old on the internet to go kill themselves. God forbid it's a lady. A woman teenager who's 16 years old. No. But because he's the face of the patriarchy and stuff like that, it is completely unpronounced and unfounded that this is the kind of shit that we have to deal with in 2018. But yeah, like, man, it's complete bullshit, and I've learned that, like, I've learned that over the years is like Twitter is a fucking terrible website, and if Jack really wanted to fucking do a good job, he'd ban everyone. But he doesn't want to ban everyone because he wants to spin a narrative, because everyone knows for a fact that Jack is a fucking coward and he doesn't fucking get it.
Nope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't disagree with that statement.
Well,
But
it's funny.
yeah.
It's funny because like a lot of people sit there and say, "Well, millennials are really flipping liberal," and it's like, yeah, no shit. We sit there and we grew up in a time where basically the entire world was at war. The Afghanistan war was just starting. The 9/11 attacks happened. Gee, I think that we would be more for caring, loving, respect, understanding with everything. And it's hilarious because these media companies immediately hop on the bandwagon and immediately push for authoritarianism. Communism's great, guys. Don't you like communism? This kid is the... And it's like nobody sat there and said, hey, maybe we should wait until a bunch of facts come out, because that seems important. No, nobody sat there and did that. No, you want to know what everyone sat there and it did? They immediately went for the kill shot like they do every other fucking week with every other incident that involves President Trump. And it's getting rather annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting rather frustrating because then you have to sit there and wonder, are they just retarded? And it's really stupid because then you have to sit there and go, wow, are they just stupid or are they just retarded? And it's like, it's really hard to tell now. I'm pretty sure all of their editors are pants on edge retards.
Do we want to actually on the topic of their editors and these reporters and stuff like that? So guess
and then
what
they
happened,
sit there and
Jeff?
they wonder why they all get laid off after like 3 years. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And then they sit there and they say we should unionize because revenue totally equals profit. It's like, no. Oh.
Stop. Deep breath.
No, fuck you. You went on a rant last week. I'm going.
I know. That's why I'm saying take a deep breath because you're doing the exasperated thing, and I'm like, okay, don't stop. Don't stop. Just take a deep breath. I'm worried I'm worried your eardrums are gonna pop.
I just don't understand how these people continue to have jobs when they sit there.
Not after this week.
It's utterly insane. And then you have like people who sit there who should be covering games, and they go, well, that would be stupid. Let's not cover games. Let's keep our political opinions at the forefront because that's totally what our user base was. When it's like, I just went into the site just to get a review of whether or not Anthem is good. And I guess Anthem is shit because every YouTuber is saying it's shit now. And it's just kind of like the same garbage that I've heard for the past 4 months. Of this game's going to be total shit and don't expect it to be good. And it's like, okay, great, fantastic. Shall I continue hating myself? Yes, great. It's just like,
I don't disagree with you, and
No.
that's the reason why, like, with the recent layoffs that happened, and I have to get a fucking giggle out of the fucking response from the internet. Because all these people are like, yep, I got laid off. And the internet was responding, it's like, oh, you're out of a job, eh? I guess it's time to learn how to code. And, like, they're like, oh, because they had done that to a bunch of blue-collar people back in the day, too.
oh, well, like, you know what? I'm learning to code right now, Alan. Do you want to know how hard it is to learn how to code?
Not that hard.
No, I could probably teach Josh in 20 minutes. Josh, we're going to learn C.
Okay.
Oh, please, no, God, I don't want to have
C++.
Josh, we're going to learn C#, okay? All you have to do is put an if statement followed by what you want a variable to return an if or true statement. So a false or true statement. So if girl is hot,
Okay.
Then
give erection.
Give
Else
erection.
do not give erections.
Okay.
Okay? Makes sense.
Right.
anyways,
Like, these
we're getting a
people
little,
are...
we're actually getting a little okay, yeah. These people are the reason why journalism is dying.
Can you tell I had a rough day today? I got called unprofessional to my face by a coworker. This is a guy who is a fucking dimwit and a complete and total, or not a dimwit. I should be nicer. This is a guy who I could literally destroy his career in 30 seconds by sitting there and telling his new boss what he did at work consistently.
What did he do?
I'll tell you guys later. It's very funny. I'll give
That's
you
fair.
details later.
Also,
He's gonna listen to this show and he's gonna be like, "Wow, I didn't think what you said was that mean." And it's like, "Oh, you don't think. That's the thing that you always do. You never think. You're flipping retarded, I swear." Because you sit there and you're like, "I'm intelligent. I do something," and then somebody sits there and goes, "Well, I guess you do. You're very intelligent," and you literally get everything that you want, then some. You've never had adversity. You've never had been put in a place. You sat there and whined and complained because your boss sat there and said, maybe you did something wrong when you gave your parents attitude in front of a customer. It's stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, I had a bad day. Actually, no, I had a pretty good day. I worked with a guy I liked. My coworkers were pretty good, and then that happened, and it just set me off for the rest of the day. And this is kind of like making me even more angry because it's like, man, people need to fucking stop shoving dicks up their asses and sitting there and pretending it's normal, because it's not normal.
Unless they're gay, in which case it is normal.
Well, even if you're gay, I don't think you're shoving 12-inch dicks of political correctness up your ass. You're shoving 6-inch dicks of political correctness up your ass. Get it correct.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I with the way that the political world, with the way that the journalism and stuff like that is going now, I'm just.
The best part is they sit there and they wonder why they're so fucking, why everyone hates them. They sit there and they're like, I don't understand why people hate us. And it's like, really? Are you stupid? Can I hold your head? If I held your head underneath the water, and you died, would the world be a better place? Kinda. Because right now we could probably replace you with somebody else who is 20 times better. And it's not even that hard. Because they sit there and they do shit like this, and it's like, are you retarded? No. Great job, you're hired. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
How many feminists have you had to deal with at school?
Actually, none. Well, I've dealt with somebody who believes in the wage gap, and I responded with them as like, okay, yeah. I've dealt with somebody who believes in the wage gap, and my response to it was like, yeah, you have to be incredibly skeptical of the wage gap statement because of the how it's done. Oh, yeah. And they were like, well, I've seen the numbers, and I'm like, really? And it's like, yeah, I know for a fact that people at my work, and I'm like, that's anecdotal. You can't use that. And it's like, well, how can you explain the 82 cents to $1? It's like, it's probably because that's the consensus of all the jobs, of all jobs earnings across all fields, instead of being what it should be, which is comparable by each job, by each person, by everything like that. You break it down into, all right, people in this field have this broken down, people in this field broken down. And it's like, well, women just get paid less. We just have to accept that as women. It's like, no, you don't. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, if you feel like you're not being paid enough, talk to your boss. Discuss a potential pay raise. And they're like, well, if I go in there and do it, it's like, no, you don't go in saying I want a pay raise. You go in, it's like, hey boss, I want to bring up something that I'd like to talk about. And they're like, well, that's entirely unfair. It's like, no, if you go to a psychologist or psychiatrist and you tell them like, hey, I want to work up to the point where I can ask my boss for a pay raise so I can earn a bit more money, they start to build you towards that. And it's incredibly important. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why, but they kind of dismissed me, and I was like, oh well, okay, I guess that's how this is going tonight.
It's funny because I think I could explain the wage gap very easily as men are still the highest amount of workplace deaths. They're the highest amounts of manslaughters. And they're also the highest. Yeah, well, that would solve it, honestly. Prostitution would solve the wage gap. I don't think anyone's paying less than
Oh
$1,000.
my god, Josh, what the fuck? I saw a static one E621 and I was like, I gotta click into Discord to see this.
This is,
I was like, I need to find the worst shit right now because I'm so bored. I'm like, that's perfect.
to explain to the users, listeners, what Josh did. He posted Sonic porn.
Oh yeah, but the thing is that the
From
Sonic porn is
Cringetopia.
Amy. Is Amy with these giant dicks.
This is like what HTube has for dick size.
Yeah,
This
just
is not like we have to do some. You know what? We're gonna create a little special area for you called Shame, where you can post that shit all the time.
and then no one's
I
gonna
found
look
that-
at it. I'll be so disappointed.
Oh, oh, that sounds so good. Did I mention? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh
No, okay. Actually, another really interesting thing about we're gonna ignore that is when we were talking about this in English class actually, and she's like, yeah, I work as a secretary and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, that's fair, and she's like, I can't do anything like this.
I get my ass slapped all the time by men.
And that's the thing is, like, I looked at her, is like, are you sure they do the same work as you? It's like, well, no. And she's like, well, they're paid more than me. That's what I know. It's like, are you absolutely sure? And I no matter what, always, it's just like, oh.
To explain to listeners what Allan just saw a weird sex toy I found on Facebook of all places.
Jeff, what the fuck, man?
It was used 3 times, apparently.
Oh God, I wouldn't even touch that with a 10-foot pole at that point.
No, most of us would not.
Oh, man, even if you boil that thing and you clean it properly, I don't think I'd even touch it.
Oh, shut up, Josh. You would shove it up your ass quicker than anyone else. You would
Out
be
of all
like,
of us, it would be Josh.
my ass.
I love it.
Oh, I'm so filthy. This show has gone off the rails. No, you're 100% right, and you're probably gonna meet your next girlfriend, and it's gonna be great. And
Oh no, it's gonna be really funny if it ends up being some girl that I have this argument with, because like I've had like. While I was in a psychology class, I ended up working with this girl, and she's cute and short, and I'm like, no, and here's the thing, like I can actually, like, when, like, if I get enough information out of a person, even if it's all I see is visual cues and stuff like that, I can tell something about a person. So she pulls out her phone and flicks it on, and I look over and I see on the screen, oh, it's her and a guy, so she's probably dating. Open up the screen, she's texting a person, I can't tell the name, but it's probably a close friend. She has classes every Monday till 5, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll offer to hang out with her on Monday later this week. I also know for a fact that with the girl I met in English class, she's a night student and all that, and I'm just like, interesting. So I was gonna bring up the topic of like, oh God, fucking damn it. I love
this
that people,
entire podcast
wear
is
that.
get Allan off rants quicker than anything else.
I have to fucking giggle at that one because I've seen that picture online before. Oh man, but
And you wanted it as a hoodie, didn't you?
Huh?
And you wanted it as a hoodie, didn't you?
No.
You wanted it as pants.
No.
You wanted it as
I don't like
underwear.
Underwear, god damn it. No. I like, okay. What Jeff just posted was a picture of a bunch of like pony girl MLP like pony faces on a sweater.
To explain
Some
to
of the-
people,
Some of them are the Adhigio face. Some of them are just show faces. Some of them are like fan art that are stuff like that. But and my response to that is, how about no? Because I actually like to wear classy sweaters and stuff like that. Sure, I still have my shitty Ottawa Senator one, but besides that, I have my God of War one.
Here's the thing, Alan. Here's the thing. This is on the level of any wish item that is suggested to me on a regular basis.
What the fuck?
I'm on the best subreddit, man. I'm on Cringetopia. It's full of this shit. It's hilarious. I just want to purge humanity. This is just terrible.
That's the best Mountain Dew cosplay I've seen in years.
Oh my god.
Spot on.
I'm not even like, jeez.
I also found the perfect image for Stefan. And it's so good. I'm the youngest.
God damn it.
It's so good because I'm the youngest of my family. So I just sit there when somebody sits there and says, "Yeah," sends this to me. I'll just be like, "What? No, I'm the youngest." Oh, I found the best. I find the best subreddits.
I don't know if you do. I actually generally get very worried about you when you find like Reddits that you're like, this is a great Reddit. Like, man.
I mean, great isn't someone else's definition of great. So,
I mean, yeah.
So really, when someone's like, "Oh, this is great," and then someone else is like, "It's not that great," but I mean, whatever.
I just find there's a great image that basically summarizes my feelings towards the next generation, just as a whole, just as a whole, in general, and it's one of pure disdain and utter disappointment. And I've been finding myself doing that a lot lately at school, where I'll have a girl who randomly comes up to me and they'll put their arm around me and they'll be like, "Hey," and I'll be like, "I'm sorry, are we dating?"
Is this a form of dating right now?
Are we dating?
Oh man,
why are you touching me? Stop touching me.
You're guys gonna hate me. So I actually, in one of my classes, it was in my political science class.
I got raped. It was great.
Fuck, it was awesome. We were talking about like identity politics for a little bit. It was a real brief thing that came up because it was talking about like, oh, I'm a Nigerian Canadian, or I'm French Canadian, or I'm English Canadian. Like where you came from is where your heritage. Like you put your heritage first, and then you say dash hyphen Canadian.
And you said, "I'm Canadian."
My response to this, and it was actually really funny, because there are some people who are like, "Yeah, we accept it, but it shouldn't be any laws, legislation." And my response was like, "Yeah, no, I don't mind people doing it, as long as they don't make it their primary point of their identity." Because we've all know where, like, if you start bringing forth the ideas of enforcing laws like this, well, we know where it goes. And the teacher was like, "Well, where do you mean this?" And it's like, oh man, it's so bad that the Juden got just sent to Auschwitz and Dachau, and the teacher's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the reason why you should be entirely skeptical of anything related to identity politics." And somebody commented like, no. Somebody commented in response, which was, I love her for her response, because she nailed the point that I was making perfectly. She was like, "No, what you do as a person, as an individual, is what you do. Under no circumstance should your government ever enforce the ideas of identity upon people." And I was like, perfect, correct response. You get a cookie. And the teacher is like, "Yeah, no, that's fair. We brought the idea of, then we brought the topic of dual citizenship." And I was like, I wasn't here for this, because I had left the room to use the washroom, and I came back, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the topic of Canadians, the dual citizenship and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know what the topic was." So I didn't get to bring up my stance on it and stuff like that. But I listened to the class, and again, I love the fact that I'm in this political science class, because I had such a really, really cool discussion about I listened to the discussion between the other students, and some of them were like, well, dual citizenship's fair and stuff like that, and then somebody brought up like, well, are they entirely loyal to Canada, or are they more loyal to their home country? And then somebody else brought up the time, it's like, well, what if they're a Canadian citizen first and then they gain dual citizenship somewhere else? And I was like, and I'm just like listening to this, and I'm like, oh my god, we actually have different political opinions here. Holy shit, it's not an echo chamber for once. Then another interesting. I'm actually like surprised how like willing people are able like to talk about this stuff in class now.
Oh my god, it's funny because I was talking to individuals at school, and one of the guys straight up said point blank, and we're in a group together, and he goes point blank. He says, "Yeah, I'm not a feminist." I was just like,
Good.
I was like, whoa, that's weird. Well, this guy looks like a hipster. He just said like straight up, like, no, I'm not a feminist. I don't believe in. I think that feminism has gone too far. And I was just like, yeah, well, it has. And then there's another guy, and it's like literally, I just go on rants at him, and he's just like sitting there listening, patient. And it's like I compare it to the reasons why I left Nate. And it's like, it was very obvious the reasons why I left Nate. It was not like isolated incidents and stuff like that. And it was just like, and if anyone's wondering, yeah, this show's not going to have a lot of video game talk. Josh is probably going to be your most video game shot topic this episode. But,
actually, I have to talk about some video games too.
Yeah. But, like I was saying there.
Don't worry.
And like the reasons why.
Don't worry, Josh. You'll get your time here soon.
Yeah, it's going to be for like 5 seconds.
Don't worry, babe.
Don't worry, babe. But I was like sitting there, and I was just like, that's really weird, because like I was not expecting that. It actually caught me off guard. And then what else?
It's okay. That's the thing, is we're so used to like universities and like institutes and that stuff being the hives of scum and villainy for this like far left wing ideological points and stuff like that. But honestly, I think they're getting better, because the students that are being shuffled in now have dealt with this stuff to the point of being like extremely just off put by the idea of it now. Which I'm like, good people.
Well, it's
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's almost as if like somebody said. It's almost as if people are actually stopping and like understanding the things that are going on.
Yeah.
And I also got to talk about should I talk about what happened with the guy who sat there and said something? Did I tell you guys about the guy who sat there and is in game programming, who was like, yeah, I'm not into gamers. Gamers are stupid and dumb. And I was like, this is a guy who wants to host a show for gamers, talking about games creation and stuff like that. Who do you think your primary fucking market's going to be? Like, what the fuck?
I did not. You have not told us about this,
Okay.
but I think we should move off this. I do think we should move off this topic.
Yeah.
Because Josh has been quiet for about 20 minutes now. It's not fair to him. Josh, bitch, wake up! Wake up! I will kick you in the balls. Josh,
I will
what happened this
post
week for you?
anime. I will post more cringe, Josh.
Oh, I'll
Please
just look at it and go, I've seen it before.
Have you seen this before?
What the
That's a
fuck?
combination of two things, I think.
Anime Wave Studio. You know what makes this really funny about that? Is I suspect that's someone's furry art from like 2008, and I almost guarantee if I went out and looked up their art now, it'd be fucking wicked killer.
Well, probably. If anything, it almost feels like, I want to say earlier, but you're probably right about 2008.
It's getting to the point where Shane's gonna come in and be like,
What are you doing?
What the fuck, guys?
He's gonna actively.
He's only on Spotify, so we know for a fact that he could easily just tab in and go, "What the fuck?"
Probably is doing that already.
So Josh,
Yes.
any cool video games this week?
I played exactly one cool video game that
I'm booting up Smash.
I put off for a long time because I was like, I'm not gonna play this, even though like I heard recommendations to play it. It was it's hard to pronounce. Hold on, let's see if I can
Put it in chat.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get the store page quickly because I just played this and and man, this game is something special because it actively fights you the entire way, which is kind of weird. So basically, you start out as a character, just again, it's one of those. You start out in a weird locale, and you're just walking through this weird locale this 3D artist has made, and you're just going through it. I would say it's walking simulator with some light puzzle elements thrown in.
Oh, so this is basically like a high, an actual like video game is art.
Yes,
kind of thing.
Pretty much.
That's fair.
Yeah. So how would we pronounce his name here? Nauseancy?
Yeah, Nasiasi.
Yeah. So Nascency. That sounds about right. So basically, like, this game is all about games as art, and you're basically just slowly walking through locales and stuff like that. You have a sprint meter, which is weird because you have to constantly time your breathing so you don't keep running and dying. And also there's a lot of different looking locales that are like, ooh, someone spent a lot of time, making the artwork of this place look really cool. And basically, yeah, it's just one of those, like, you walk through the scenery and you just you see us kind of poke around and you start realizing, oh, this place used to be a city. Oh, people used to live here. Oh, I found a room which was a giant black void with nothing in it. Like, I actually ran around this giant black void and I'm like, where am I? Oh God, I got to find that door with the light. Okay, maybe if I run this one direction, there it is. I'll get back through this door. And it's like such crazy quasi, like this this plane of existence almost doesn't feel like it should exist. Because you're walking.
It needs to exist.
Yeah, it needs to exist, but it's like, no, this place is so big. It's like the in Portal 1 and 2, Aperture Science Center is fucking gigantic. Like, it could be size of a continent. Like, you don't know. This place feels like it's that size. So you get to some locales, you go, oh, I'm outside. And you're like, no, you're not. You're just in a bigger building. And you're like, oh. So it's really like a nice atmospheric walking simulator that, again, like I said before, it actively fights you as you're going through it. Like you're trying to find your way through these puzzles, but at the same time, it feels like you're not meant to be doing this. Like, it feels awkward. It feels weird. And it's like if you yourself were in the situation and you're just trying to find point A to point B and you're like, I guess I walked through this, but it doesn't feel right. And you walk through and you go, no, that was the right solution. You're like, this is so fucking weird. So, yeah, if you want a weird artsy game that kind of weird artsy game that kind of fights you a little bit, and because of that decision to make it fight you and make it feel more like you're in this weird world, I think you should play it because, yeah, it's different from other games, other walking simulators I played, of like how depressing it is, how lonely you are, how like this used to be a bustling city but no one's there. And yeah, it's really, I think it's really good. The only thing that sucks though is I think I got about halfway through the game. The only thing that stopped me was, again, the game fights you along the way. So I got to a point where there's several bridges, like you got to a chasm, several bridges, and you walk around on these bridges, and I just kept walking around in a loop over and over. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I keep walking and walking and walking, and nothing's happening. And I'm like, am I supposed to jump across these bridges to break the loop? And the only way you can fucking do this is that there's these air conditioner units in the wall, but they're like out by like centimeters, and you can barely jump on these things. I'm like, I think this is a solution, but I'm just gonna turn off now and go to bed. And I just haven't touched it since. But I kind of want to go back to it just to see if I can pass it again. It's like it's so weird, and I like the decisions of like, yeah, this world's not meant for you, and it's like, yeah, it's clearly not meant for me. Yeah, it's weird, and I like it. So I give it 10 out of 10.
Yeah, this is super like confusing. Of like,
yeah, like again, like the spaces you're walking through, and like there's some locales where you go through a door that was beside another door, and it turns out it was a long hallway, and then you get back to the same spot you were before, and you're like, oh, it's also full of what's it called? Glucinian. Oh, it's a very like this. The way you walk around in circles, but it shouldn't happen because it doesn't make any sense. Like there's a word for that. I forget what it's called, but it's like, yeah, it's like they had this. It's just really crazy and spacey and stuff like that. And yeah, like some of the first place you walk through feels like you're going through some sort of spaceship because it's like it's all geometry. It was all geometry. Then finally you get to the city part and you're like, oh, is this a spaceship? I don't know. Maybe this is a planet. Because everything's so drastically black and white. And then and then other shit happens, which I don't think I should have.
so where's the actual game, Josh?
You can get it on Steam. Yeah, you can get it on Steam. It's free actually, because this is why I finally played the stupid game. Because before it was, I want to say it was $20 or $15, and I just put it off because I was like, I'll get to it. It's a weird art game, but I'll get to it. And now finally, it's just so many years has passed, and he's like, and the artist of the game is like, well, I'm just gonna throw it for free at this point, because he's like, I guess the sales must have really dipped to below zero or something. So it's like, well, just get everyone to have a chance to play it. So here you go.
Or he actually never sold a copy.
Oh no, I think he sold a couple of copies because GameStop has a review on it. Rock Paper Shotgun have a review on it. It's one of those games where it's like it feels like this would have been on the PS4 or PS3 because it's such a weird artsy thing, and they would put that shit out. I still remember the weird artsy thing they put on the PS3. It was like a music video, but you interacted with every single element with that music video. Oh, what was that called? Desync? Detune? I think it was called Detune. It was just, it was really weird because it was a game that everyone played just for the achievements back in the day. But it was like, it's a good thing I played it for the achievements because it was actually kind of neat, like, you know, a music video player.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it was called D2, but whatever.
No, honestly, I might give it a try when I get a chance to. I gotta do.
Yeah, it's like it's free
tomorrow.
So it's again like
Might as well.
Yeah, it may as well because it's freaking free game now. So it's like, yeah, just download and try it because it's gonna take like maybe one sitting, but I don't think it will take that much. I think this game's like roughly 2-3 hours.
Yeah. No, actually, rather interesting thing for me is I got a bunch of buddies who are like, yeah, I'm playing this game, I'm playing this game, playing this game. And I got a bunch of people who are excited for next week because Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Let's not talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 and the bullshit that it is.
However, no, stop. The thing is, though, I'm looking forward to Ace Combat 7. Which comes out on Steam on the 31st of January, even though it's been out for like a week and a half now for PS4 and Xbox One. But during the interim, I recently found out that the PS4 version comes with the downloadable version of Ace Combat 5, which is a game that I really, really want to play. And it is the only game like that I have actually stopped and said, do I really want to buy this fucking game? buy this console just for this game because it's two games for the price of $70. It's basically $35 for each one, and I'm like, that's a fucking steal. And apparently, it's a complete rework of like the design, the game, of the an update of all the models and the visual effects, which isn't bad, but it's still I have heard nothing but good things about Ace Combat 5, as well as Ace Combat 0, the Balkan Wars. And I've already told one of my friends who they have an Xbox, and I was like, yeah, go play Ace Combat 6, and it's like, I love it. And that's the thing is for me, the game I have loved nonstop recently because I've actually started listening to the soundtracks and stuff like that of these games, and me being I would love for these games to just come to PC, even if they were just quick little reworks where there's oh yeah, we're updating the visual effects of this stuff. I would be totally for that. Additionally, Resident Evil 2 came out again.
That giant remake.
Yeah. And for me, that kind of came out of fucking nowhere. Because I don't pay attention to Resident Evil. I don't really care. To me, Resident Evil is just oh, it's a zombie horror game that actually has some really interesting elements to it, but not enough for me to play. But fuck, I've been watching some people play it, and I'm just getting. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, oh my god, this is great. I love the fucking fact that these people can't play this game.
It's weird how that game came out and everyone's like, holy shit! Holy shit!
Out of left fucking field!
It's dude, it's Resident Evil 2. Of course it's good.
It was one of the last. It's one of the few good Resident Evil games. There's actually a few good Resident Evil games.
7.
Which is actually surprising. 7's okay.
That's what I said. I said 7 is okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm happy about that remake. I'm looking forward to my friends. I'm looking forward to a group of my friends to just disappear off the internet because they've put themselves on a media blackout because of Kingdom Hearts 3. And then I got a post the other day from a friend of mine in a group chat, and I got a fucking laugh out of it because.
Because it was funny?
No. So what happened is... Oh, I need to... There it is.
Something...
No, it's hilarious because Pornhub has spoilers on it.
Mm.
So I got a hard laugh out of that, and both of them are like, "What a time to be alive," and I'm like, "What a fucking time to be alive, in fucking deed."
Pornhub.
Yeah. So I made the joke to them because I don't really care because Kingdom Hearts 3 to me is kind of well, if I play it, I'll play it. If not, I'll watch one of you guys play it. But Pornhub, it made it really funny is because I was like, I guess no one's whacking off for the next week, and they were like, Allan, fuck off, and I'm like, am I wrong? So they put themselves on a media blackout because as of recently, the Japan got their release, and so it's starting to show up on timelines, and so people are like, cool, media blackout. And I don't blame them. I'm not even mad about it. I'm just like, that's impressive.
It's weird how people are 100% scared of they don't want that game to be spoiled for some reason, and it's hilarious because who really gives two shits? It's just Kingdom Hearts. It's just, does somebody die and have their heart turned?
Man, it's just Doom. It's just an average
Doom is
FPS
actually
shooter.
a good game, and people.
No, fuck off. Hey, you do realize Kingdom Hearts is a really good game.
I'm not a little fucking girl. And now I just made myself public enemy number 1. So yeah.
I'm not a little fucking girl. Jesus Christ. No. Okay. Kingdom Hearts to me is the following. It's a fun little game. and has a fun little game series that has fucking deep lore
Oh,
that actually surprisingly makes sense.
oh no, like it's 100% that game, but like I'm just saying.
It's not a game for you.
Oh no,
That's what you need to say.
oh no, that should be obvious.
That should be obvious, Jeff. This is you we're talking about.
That should be obvious that like how little fucks I give about Kingdom Hearts. The moment somebody sits there and says Xenomort, I immediately debate about punching them in the gut
Why?
because I can.
So you're
Xehanort.
So you're telling me Jeff is a heartless?
My heart has
Oh,
been
fuck off.
my heart has been beaten out of me.
Oh, I hate you for that fucking pun.
No,
I know
you did
just
this,
enough
Allan.
to piss
You can
piss
fucking
people
sleep in
off.
it.
Just enough to piss people off. Oh, I think Alan's now just stewing in hatred.
You should.
Well, my little story of playing Kingdom Hearts, frickin', it's a good thing I kind of stopped when I did, because
I realized how much bullshit it was, and how nobody should play this franchise. That's complete and total crap.
I counter with Final Fantasy.
The fact that we have Kingdom Hearts and not Half-Life 3 infuriates me more.
I'm not mad about not having Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but you're Allan.
Half-Life 3. I don't really care about the Half-Life series, so that explains a lot.
Allan, flying a ship into a Dyson sphere, causing their sun to nuclear meltdown. You tell me that's not fucking cool.
You can't make a sun nuclear meltdown. It's a continuous state of nuclear meltdown. That is literally what a sun is.
You know what I mean.
No, I don't actually.
No,
know
just
what
say
I
the
mean.
word "sun explode" or black hole.
If it's the fact that the sun
probably gonna go into black hole.
If I suspect he meant make the sun collapse in on itself.
Yes.
Yes, that I can agree with. That's actually pretty cool. But you have to remember, Valve is no longer a producing company. They are now a publishing company.
The fact that you
They
said
put out
that angers
that's
me.
the reason why they run Steam. We're still waiting on Left 4 Dead 3, and we're waiting on for Team Fortress 3.
Yeah. Team Fortress 3 is never going to happen, though.
Well, they're slowly
make it-
ramping up. They're slowly ramping up for Source 2.
Source 2 has been out for a while, Josh.
Is it?
Yes.
Hold on. I thought I saw a video about that shit. I don't know. Because I was gonna say, isn't it like they're trying to make a giant leap with their engine before they can do anything else?
Kind of.
They did. Source 2 is what's running Dota right now.
Okay.
So
It makes sense for them to do that. And
Because, like, if anything, I think they're just waiting, like, making their engine better and better and better to the point of, like, okay, now we can maybe actually produce a video game for once.
I mean, Valve right now is in this. If you want to talk about a company that can't do anything wrong, it's Valve.
They have all the money.
Valve can do a lot of
Yeah,
things
but they
wrong.
haven't really done anything wrong. They still make better games than.
Not in a while they haven't. That's what I'll say. That is, they haven't done anything wrong just yet, but the problem might come up from
a while.
from them trying to go back into producing stuff. That will be where they start to make mistakes.
What will have to happen is, like, basically they're now going into the point where it's like,
If they do a Half-Life 3, they're not going to do a good Half-Life. And I don't think the people who work at Valve are capable of making a game. And I don't think Gabe is really pushing them to make a game.
No.
And I don't think Gabe really wants to do that, because I think that what Gabe is... And I'm not trying to be mean to Gabe. I'm not trying to be mean...
Like, look, the guy runs one of the best online distribution platforms of all time. Like it or not, Steam is still better than the Epic Game Store. Steam actually is a very good store.
Steam is way better than most of its competitors.
If anyone sits there and goes like, "Yeah, but indies," it's like, yeah, but like you should release your game everywhere.
Yeah.
You should release it everywhere, and then you get everything, because that makes sense. But no,
Yeah.
it's if you want to be honest, like Gabe hasn't done anything wrong. Honestly, like he's done a lot of like smart things in the past while, like completely like making it so that Valve is running well and stuff like that without this crap. That's actually very helpful and stuff like that. It makes the company actually run a lot better than it should. And the fact that they have a constant
actually, what my personal one of my personal problems with technically with one of the character interactions is the fact that Steam. The only problem I have with Steam is their achievement system and stuff like that. It's so weird. And I have problem with their online trading setup that they have for like when you go to the community, you do like trades and stuff like that.
I can understand that.
But for the most part, like Steam is, in my opinion, the best game server setup, period.
It is. And that's the thing that people understand is like, yeah, it's the best game platform on the market because it is. It's not hard to sit there and go like, yeah, it's very good at what it does. There is a one thing I will sit there and say is that I feel as if that there's a way that they could improve the Steam marketplace, but it's like it's very kind of like, okay, I would rather not have an algorithm do this. Like, I don't like the algorithm systems on any web service ever. Also, that's another thing that we should talk about. Did you guys hear about what Chrome is doing?
No.
Chrome is saying, hey, we're removing ad blockers from our Chromium's web service. To which,
why though?
Because it's Google, and Google is probably, I don't know. Actually, no. Let me play Super Snide and Mean as I can. Allan, is it just me, or is this Google an ad company, and it just seems like they're just removing ad blockers to make everyone safe?
I don't know.
It's because they want profit.
Personally, okay, this is my stance on this right now. Hot take, angry take. Google is going to try to get rid of AdBlock, and then all they're going to do is the AdBlock companies are going to do is just change the algorithm so that the company can't block it.
Oh yeah. Well, like the problem isn't like the way that Google does things. It's the problem is that I just don't understand. Like, I just don't like their ad block. I just don't like that company anymore. It just doesn't seem to get it. Like, it's weird because like ever since I had my iPhone, I've been getting my Note. It's felt like as if like they're like using it. Like, I'll search something up and then it will pop up in the analytics for like 4 ads.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like I should get a VPN. Like, I should actually get a fucking VPN because fuck, man, this shit is crazy. Also, in other news, Anthem is kind of like, I think I've seen my new favorite thing. Anthem doesn't feel like a BioWare game, but it does feel like a game made by BioWare.
From what I've seen about Anthem, it's really meh.
I like how everyone sits there and goes,
I like how again I'm right.
From
like
the
how
gameplay
a
I've seen, I was gonna say the gameplay I've seen is like, okay, it's a shooter, and it has some jet control and whatever, and it seems fast. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's faster Warframe, I guess.
But Warframe's pretty fucking fast.
Yeah,
Warframe is stupid fast.
yeah, I
Warframe
know.
is-
That's what I'm that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it feels like a Warframe, but just more polish. That's what it is.
Warframe is pretty fucking polished.
Nah, there's some level of jank in there.
There is
I know they're
jank, but,
updating it
like,
still.
But like it's good jank. It's not bad jank.
Yeah.
It's good jank.
It's not bad jank.
Why did
It's
the
that when you
enemies
get
look
so
like
fast, you get so fast you can cancel your animation so you can attack more and more.
Yeah, it's like
It's that level of jank.
yeah, it's like it's good jank. So when somebody sits there and says it's more polished Warframe, it's like what? What?
That is in my opinion, that is a massive lie. It's more polished than Warframe. That is.
Well, I would say polish isn't the looks.
It's running on Frostbite. That's not hard for Frostbite. Is this
like,
like
when
when
you
a game that I'm going to like buy for $10 because my boss would have given up on it and ordered 20 copies? Is this going to be a game like that?
Who knows?
Also, I just unlock Isabella.
Hey, good job.
Yay, I'm so good at Smash.
Give me the smash. But yeah, I personally one big thing for me is like I haven't looked at the gameplay recently, but apparently a lot of people are complaining like it's
It's a BioWare game.
apparently it's really weak for a BioWare game. Is like what some people are
It's
saying.
a BioWare game, and BioWare games like if it's like based off of their Mass Effect combat system, which it looked like it was. From what
I guess we'll find out when more information comes out.
Should I peel off the screen protector?
Probably not.
It's all cracked up to hell in anyways. So maybe down the road I'll peel it off and get it and be like, yo, my screen protector's fucked. Anyways, is that a show?
I think that's a show.
Is this episode going to be called the Jeff Rant podcast, where Jeff ranted for 40 minutes?
Pretty much. I
Oh
think.
my god, dude! I did it.
I had a good nap.
I did it, Allan. What?
I had such a good nap. Oh man, I'm fully rested. Ooh.
Fuck off, Josh. We all know you loved it. Thank you. Oh, I got another topic because it's not important, but
Okay, let's
It's-
do no. Let's talk
okay.
about it.
I recently rebuilt my computer,
Oh,
so
Oh.
I made it look pretty and nice, and it actually is. It's funny because Asus actually. The notorious thing about Asus is how terrible their customer service is. Like,
the problem with Asus is their terrible customer service. You mean like
almost every.
the thing that we've known for most everything?
But like the products are bulletproof and stuff like that. And so my product was a dead one. Like it was something where I felt as if that I was like getting dicked around a little bit. I felt as if that they were being very mean and stuff like that. As soon as the repair depot received the product, within a day, I had received a message saying, "This is physical damage. Are you sure that you did this? You should contact Canada Post and see if you can get $100 off." And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit." So I just paid the $350. They sent me a new board.
Yeah.
So I have a new board.
Nice.
Yeah. Exact same one I have. So it's a Z170. But the thing with it is that like now all my USB ports work, And I didn't realize how bad the problem was. Like, I always was saying, like, yeah, 50% of the USB ports were wiped out. It was closer to about 20. Like, 20% of the USB ports I had left.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think that what happened was I think that they put a USB splitter in there. So my CPU ports were the ones that were working and the other ones weren't. But the one complaint I do have is Asus shipped it with an older BIOS. So I throw my 1080 in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play games. I'm going to play Destiny. I'm going to play Destiny 2 because I like Destiny and I like destinying the Destiny. And then the computer would not boot. So then I moved the RAM. I take the GPU out, turn it on, get a RAM issue, move the RAM over. I was like, oh my God, I fucking killed my computer. What the fuck am I going to fucking do? Jesus fucking Christ, turn it on. Things boots perfectly. Check the BIOS. Oh yeah, we're running 1905. The newest BIOS is 308, 380, 805, 3805.
oh,
So it's like, yeah, no wonder it didn't fucking recognize my fucking GPU. So I was just sitting there, I was just like, oh, really? Really? So it took me about 2 days in order to get back up to this position I am right now. I'm pretty damn fucking close. I have to re-update all of my, like, a bunch of my like icons I put on my desktop. The way I organized it is pretty much like the way I organized it before, where I have all my game engines up top, all my game distribution platforms, so Battle.net, GOG, and stuff like that on the second row, Adobe programs and utilities on the third row, chat programs and utilities on the fourth row, so like Chrome, modeling programs, then games in alphabetical order. So I have to go through some of my games and add back in their icons. Other than that, that's not a big deal. So yeah, I'm a happy boy, he says unironically.
Yay.
I also installed Origin back on my computer
why would you do that?
because Titanfall 2 is a good game. And they're the
That's okay. That's fair. Okay, that's fair.
And also, I would rather, the only company I actually want to give money to that is a part of EA is actually Respawn, because Vince Zampella, those two guys who made Call of Duty are kind of dickheads, but they're good dickheads and they're lovable. Like, they're dickheads I can trust, because they're probably going to sit there. EA would come up to them and say, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we had a female Jedi who all she did was talk about her vagina? They're more likely to go, no, that's fucking retarded. So that's the reason why I installed Origin. Whereas anyone at BioWare is like incapable of actual thought. I should edit that out. That might be mean to a BioWare employee who may or may not be listening to this show. No, let me be honest. The BioWare HR team is incapable of thought, thus you get retards like who sit there and assume that the world is made of gumdrops and rosies.
It isn't?
No, it isn't, Josh. I thought we went over this. You need to stop smoking your medication.
But I inject it into my eyeballs now. It's way better.
That's not how your medication works, Josh. You have to ingest it orally, preferably in a brownie.
Eyeball.
Okay. I'm sorry for ranting, everyone. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for listening to the Black Mind Podcast. If I pissed you off, you can send an email to IamAfuckingAsshole@gmail.com. You can also listen to the Black Mind Podcast every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com or our YouTube app or your podcasting app of choice, including iTunes, Google Play, other amazing podcast services like Comcast or Spotify and Podbean and other amazing places. I mean, feel free to listen to us. We don't really give two shits. And you can also listen to us every Thursday. I already said that. Anyways, thank you for listening, listener.
I appreciate it. Josh appreciates it. Allan appreciates it. Takes time out of his day from crying about how terrible his life has been lately.
Not really.
Allan.
Mine's just meh.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us.
have a good night, guys.
Bye. Oh my God, Alan, please stop raising your voice.
Yeah,
Please.
Alan,
No.
stop being so mad.
I will yell and bitch slap you as I see fit. For that is what is the situation that is
Fuck you,
required.
I'm your boss.
No, you're not.
I have probably 100 more pounds on top of you, so I could just lay on top of you if I have to.
How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh?
I actually don't know, but I know I'm pretty heavy.
So I'm gonna assume you're about 250.
Actually,
You're
I,
about 50.
I think
you're
I'm
only
more. I think I'm
50 pounds
more
heavier than me.
because legitly, the,
Go check right now. Go check right
I
now.
have to go to the
fucking
He
basement.
really wants
I
you to
have
check.
I have to go to the
go, bitch. You started this.
fine.
Okay, guys.
Fine.
Let's not fight, guys. I don't want to fight.
You started this.
Did I? I know I
No.
did. But it was funny for me, thus it was worth it.
I weigh about 200 pounds.
I am just going to give up. Okay. And there we go. So yeah, I'm giving up. I'm going to talk to Allan about the second part tomorrow, and then I'll do everything else.
Huh?
Oh, I have a bunch of, I have to do sharing permissions, which is bullshit, and sharing is hard, and the dog is barking, because the dog always barks, because the dog is a bitch. Not an actual bitch, she's more of a diva.
I do not pity you.
You do not pity my dog, who wanted
No,
to
I do
go
not
for a
pity
walk?
you. I specifically said you. Do
I'm
not
gonna have to
skew
take-
my words.
I'm gonna have to take him for a walk.
Just get him to come sit with you while you do the podcast.
That doesn't work out, because then he's like, I want to leave, and it's like, fine, leave. And
No,
then
you
he-
pick him up, put him on your lap, and just rub his neck. Then he shuts up.
That's not how it works. Yeah. But I might just take you up on that. Give me a second. Advanced shouting from missions.
273.
$273. So you're around 75 pounds, about 70 pounds heavier than me.
I could just lay on top of you.
Not really, because I know I can actually lift 300 pounds.
You can lift 300.
Allan's
Yeah,
going to be a general, so
General Jesus Christ,
he's going to be a sergeant, and then he's going to learn.
Lieutenant.
That's the same thing. Didn't I
No, it
just?
is not.
That is literally the same
A,
thing.
a sergeant gets paid $65,000 a year. A lieutenant starts at $70,000. Fuck off.
Allan's
top of
going
that,
to be the. Allan's going to be the person who leads a coup against Justin Trudeau when he eventually becomes a dictator.
No,
You would totally do that. Don't lie.
If it came to that, yes, I would. But until that
You
moment, I will say no. I will make no statements in a for or against Mr. Trudeau, because hey, people are listening.
Come on.
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mr. Trudeau,
God.
no, take a bullet.
Mr. Trudeau, I'll take a bullet for you. Takes the bullet. Why did you take the bullet, Allan? Why did you take the bullet?
I don't think he's getting it in the next election.
Goes to Saudi Arabia, immediately gets assassinated.
Dude, have you heard how many people are getting fucking pissed off with Saudi Arabia recently?
Oh my god, it's not even funny. It's so not funny. Like, it's kind of sad. Like, it's like, did you hear about that poor girl who ran away from her parents? Then Saudi Arabia was like, no, give her back. And so Turkish officials literally were putting her onto a plane, and then the UN was like, don't do that. Stop. It's like, really? This is the thing that most women don't understand. Most feminists don't understand is that Saudi Arabia is not your friend. And that woman is 20 times braver. That woman is 20 times fucking braver than 90% of the feminists on this fucking planet. And yes, I have no problem saying that, because at the end of the day, they're gonna come to my house and whine and complain, and I'm gonna walk out with a fucking baseball bat and I'm just gonna start swinging.
Jeff has been thinking about this recently a lot lately.
Oh no, this makes my blood boil. Like, this actually pisses me off, because it's like, you would think that a country that is supposedly one of the most peaceful religions in the world would not demand that their citizen come back and force her back when she doesn't want to be there. Lady's a refugee. She's 20 times more of a refugee than 90% of the Syrians.
Okay, stop. Deep breath.
I'm just
Deep
doing.
breath.
Am I doing
Deep
what?
fucking breath.
Am I doing what Josh did last
Probably.
podcast?
I don't know.
We should start the show. I did nothing this week.
I want to talk about what happened with the high school group.
No.
Oh boy. Oh
No.
boy.
No. I'm putting my foot down. No.
Why not?
Because.
What do you think I'm going to say, Jeff?
I think that whatever you're going to say, I'm not going to like it.
No. You'll like it.
Okay.
You'll like it.
Okay, fine.
You'll like it.
You'll like it,
No.
or else. No, Allan, no. Don't do
No,
it,
senpai,
Allan.
please stop.
Stop fucking being political.
No, it's I actually if I only have that one thing to really talk about this week, because other than school, I haven't been paying much attention to the world.
It's funny because I've been like, as of late, like, I've just been like, oh, like, life's shitty and sucks and kind of is fun. And then, like, today my sister's like, yeah, I found a girl for you. I'm like, oh, great, fantastic.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Apparently,
Go on a blind date. Go on a blind date.
I do. You guys are not. I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
Did you actually go on a blind date?
No.
Not yet.
No. If I go on a blind date, I'm not talking about it. Josh, we all know that you secretly want to viscerally live through me.
Go on a blind date.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I will. Fuck it. Stop making it seem like I want to do this.
I mean, the way you were making it sound is you made it sound like you didn't want to go on a blind date.
I don't want to.
Then do
What's
it.
the worst that happens? I get a blowjob out of it.
You get raped.
I get raped. I'm taped to a bed. Honestly, if that's the worst thing that happens, it's okay. If I die, that's okay.
No,
Show will
if
go
you
on.
die, it'd be the worst thing. Really,
Anyways,
whatever.
yeah, no, like honestly, do it, dude. Go out, see if you click.
It's a lot better than the other
have
girls
a fun
I've been.
have a fun time.
It's a lot better, and she has a job, and she's a nurse. Thus, I don't have to worry as much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unless she's an angel of mercy, in which case you should be fucking terrified.
Angel of Mercy, not gonna be terrified. Plus, nurses are super fucking sexy, man. So
All of them.
no, just
All of them.
a lot of them. Nurses are hot. Like if somebody sits there and says they're a nurse, it's like, ooh.
Well, freaking every
Yeah,
time
I was like
walk
putting
down,
this guy's intestines back into his. Tell me more.
well, freaking every time I walk down the freaking what's that aisle that's between the HP, like that bridge that goes from the HP Center, then it goes into the main school.
Yeah.
What's the part you walk into after the bridge? Isn't that dentistry or is that actual doctoring?
It's dentistry and nursing.
Okay, because like I walk down that hall and I'm like, man, people got more attractive as soon as I walk through that bridge. Like, holy shit.
Oh my god, people actually have like less facial hair and they look less disheveled.
No, they're less disheveled. There's less anime everywhere. They actually care about
I
their
don't
body
all
odor.
of a sudden want to kill humanity. It's odd.
It's like, whoa, they actually, don't have uppity conversations of whose wife who's better. Huh? Man, this is such different people. Well, I'm going back to my hole. Let's talk about
I
waifus. Talk about waifus again.
Yeah, man. Like, dude. I just find most of those people, most of them, annoying as fuck. Like,
I mean,
not to be me.
that's the thing. It's like with the gamer culture. It's like, yeah, of course you don't go out because you're just playing video games all day.
I heard the most retarded thing today, or on like shit. I have to actually like remember. I heard the most retarded thing on Friday. I was actually hoping that we would record tonight, so that way then it was fresh in my mind. So, guys in game programming, okay? Because I'm friends with a bunch of game programmers. So he's in game programming, and he sits there and he says point blank, and I swear to God, he said this, and I was just like, no, why are you, no.
In
And
slow
so
motion,
he's
you're
like-
yeah.
Like, I don't even remember what I said, but it's not even worth remembering because it was just so cringe. But he goes, point blank, he says, yeah, like, gamers are terrible.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I almost wanted to stop it and just be like, so why are you in game programming? Who are you making the products for?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is he just like saying that, but he's meant something else, or?
No, I think he was straight fucking serious, boy. Like, it's like I've never heard a game programmer say that. I've heard game programmers say that they're wrong. I've heard game programmers sit there and say that there's nothing wrong when gamers sat there and revolted against EA for making a shitty Star Wars game.
Which what?
Oh, Rob one day said like Battlefront 2 was okay, and I was like, no, bud, no, it's not. No.
Okay, which Battlefront 2?
The new one.
Did he specifically say the new one?
Yeah. He said it's fine. I was like, you're wrong, and you're not just wrong.
No, the gameplay for it is just fine.
Oh no, like the gameplay's the best part, but like the problem with it isn't the gameplay. Like it was never the gameplay.
I am happy though that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is on Steam listed as Classic 2005.
Yeah, that's the good one. Anyways, we should sync in 3, 2,